Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Why is my thing all the wrong way around? There we go, wrong buttons. But again, here we are for the grand finals of Division 3 for the Clary League between Carrydas, Remalded versus Ancient Apparition Anonymous. Let's see who's going to be able to come on top and show that they are the true champions of Division 3 and come out with the big grand trophy. I'm not sure what the actual prizes are for the Clary League finals. Maybe they get your special name in the chat. There's always what people to play for. But mainly it is the bragging rights. To show that they were the top dog of that season. And everyone else was just purely mediocre in comparison. But already the opening bands we take out here. Carrydas starting off with the Bristleback and Ancient Apparition. Meanwhile, AAA taking off the Visage and the Elder Titan. It's not very often you see a first phase Visage band there, so I'm going to guess that Carrydas like to roll this hero out pretty damn easily. But instead, their first opening pickup here will be the Winter Wyvern. Pretty standard sort of position 5 nowadays. Very, very high up in the meta with the broken ass healing mechanic, Cold Embrace with the Holy Locket. It can just reset fights so easily. Especially with the main counter being Ancient Apparition already gone. It just makes it so much easier. Super, super strong team fight already, but immediately the combo from AAA, the Clockwork and the Wraith King already picked up here. Now the Clockwork can be the 5 or the 4. Obviously traditionally, well, I mean, way back when it was always a position 3, and then it got pushed into the 4 role, and now players are actually starting to pick this up in the 5 role now, so we could possibly see that in either of those two positions right now. It's not cemented in anything just yet. But I think it'd be leaning slightly more towards the position 4 role, because the Clockwork Wraith King lane combo doesn't really seem like a super strong synergy, in my opinion. But hey, I could be completely wrong. But it was the Razor, was the second pick up there from Carrydas. So again, the Razor probably be the mid hero, but it can have the capabilities of going into the off lane or even the position 1. If the matchup is really damn good for him, you can actually have a position 1 Razor. So we'll have to wait and see how they're going to end up chucking this hero. But it's still early days, so it's got plenty of flexibility on where it could actually end up. But already, the second phase bands flying through it right now. Carrydas focusing purely onto the position 3s on the side of AAA, taking away the Axe as well as the Underlord. And it looks like the main position 3s that they like to pick up. We're quite way down the list, nowhere near the top. It looks like they're quite split amongst what position 3s they like to grab. Seems like they're quite diverse in that. Also removing the Broodmother. Broodmother's always like one of those things that it can either seem garbage or it can seem god tier. It's very, very few times that it's ever just sort of like, you know, mediocre. It just does its job. But even still, Carrydas do make sure they get rid of that hero. And the third hero here is going to be coming out for Ancient Apparition Anonymous. Probably be their other support. Whichever one it is they want to actually go for. Already, the Clockwork and the Wraith King were their most picked heroes already. Just straight out the bat. Like, I'm quite surprised that those were the two heroes they got left through there from Carrydas. But even still, it was. And they will go for the Shadow Demon. So yeah, I'm feeling that this is going to be a 5 Clockwork then, because Shadow Demon always seems just a little bit more impactful when he's in that 4 role. I mean, he can be pushed onto the 5. We'll have to wait and see. But even still, Shadow Demon, it's alright in diffusing a Winter's Curse, because whoever gets hit by the big ultimate, you just disruption them up and it will save them from just getting pounded in for the rest of your team. But on the flip side of that, you can't go for a disruption save when a Razor starts linking up onto someone, because all you're going to do is just hold them in place while the Razor drains all their damage. I mean, if the Shadow Demon could get in the right spot to disrupt up the Razor and make the space, that's a whole different kettle of fish. But obviously, for that sort of situation, you have to be in the right place at the right time. And on paper, things never really quite work out the way you wanted to. But even still, was the Dark Wheeler pick up there from Carrydas. So that's going to be their position 4 already grabbed. We'll see what offlane the hero they're going to decide to pick up to go with it. Like the sort of standard lane pairing combo you see is a Mars. And that is still in the pool. So the possibility that Carrydas could pick that up in the next phase. No, Ancient Apparition say, hell no, we're taking that hero. Screw you guys. The Mars is ours. So now Carrydas gonna have to think of what they want to take instead. I mean, they still need some sort of big front line, because at the moment both those supports are pretty squishy. The Razor doesn't really like getting got on himself either. Can get taken down pretty damn quickly. So we'll see what position 3 they can grab. Or maybe they could go for an Enigma perhaps, but doesn't really give them much of a front line whatsoever, and then that put a lot of pressure onto their position 1. They might just grab their mid laner right now. There's a few who've been banned out. Looks like they like to favour things like Zeus, Templar Assassin. Obviously the TA is already gone, so Zeus still in the pool, but obviously if this is the Razor with this Razor pickup, might just still be the mid. They are going to go for the Chaos Knight there as their position 1. And it can feel quite nicely. I mean, sometimes you can get quite a nice little use of the Reality Rift and pull yourself through a Mars ultimate and clear yourself onto the other side. So we'll have to see how that goes. But already Shadow Demon isn't too bad playing up against the Chaos Knight, because you use the... I can't remember what the skill was called. The W, where like you half all the HP of people in that small circle for a short amount of time. You can just use that on the CK of all of his illusions, and the effective damage it does is absolutely ridiculous. It's a good way of cutting down the army pretty quickly. To see if he's going to get hindered too badly by that. So these final set of bans coming out. Definitely AAA are after a mid laner themselves. And Carrydas after position 1, maybe a position 3, because you can, like, the CK could be a 1 or a 3 role. It also depends how it goes. But I mean, they've picked up the Chaos Knight 3 times in the past with 66% win rates. 2 out of 3 games won so far. And Ancient Apparition Anonymous banning out the Timber Saw. So they're thinking that this is going to be a position 1 Chaos Knight already. So we'll see if they're going to maybe ban another position 1 as well, just to like even the split a little bit, or if they're just going to put all their eggs into one basket and say this is definitely a position 1 CK. I mean, I could possibly see them ban out a Life Stealer as well. Because a Life Stealer always really, really strong playing up against the Mars, no matter what phase of the game it is. You can just rage, walk through the wall. Even in the laning phase, you can bully him out quite easily with the right clicks. So it gives you a nice time. They do end up banning out the Ember Spirit. Quite an interesting ban there. So Ember Spirit can either go for the mid or the safe lane. So maybe they're, I don't know, maybe they're just trying to bridge the gap a little bit unsure about what the final ban they want to do is. But immediately there is the Arc Water pickup there from Carrydas. So is this position 1 Razor then with off lane CK, or position 1 CK with off lane Razor? Because it's pretty much like guaranteed that Arc Warden's going to be in the mid, right? I think I've only ever seen like a position 1 Arc Warden like twice ever of all the games I played, and it never really felt that great. Because obviously the Arc Warden likes to get his 6 as fast as possible, get that Tempest double out there, and really start ramping up his farming speed. But if he's in the position 1, he has a higher chance of getting bullied out. So yeah, he should be the mid laner for sure. Obviously, they probably will just run the Razor as the position 3. Then just lane up against the Wraith King, you could just run at him with the static link. But then it's a similar sort of situation though if the Razor's the one, because either way you've got this melee strength hero that the Razor will be playing up against. You could get super easy static links off. Just the Shadow Demon can obviously make more space there with the disruption to allow the core to get away from the Razor, whereas the Clockwork could probably just have to run in there and get a nicely positioned cogs off to try and push the Razor away. Or if the Clockwork gets caught himself, he'll just get stuck in his own cogs with the Razor draining his own damage, and that will probably just be an easy kill. But even still, it's a little bit of a question mark about which one of the Clockwork or the Shadow Demon is actually going to be the 5 or the 4. And so AAA using up all of their reserve time right now. They really want to think about what the correct mid lane for them to pick up is going to be. So you want someone who can lane up pretty decently against the Arc Warden. And I'd come online at a pretty decently time. I mean, the Wraith King's sort of the greediest of position ones. All he really needs is like 1, maybe 2 items, and he can actually start being effective in team fights. Okay, they're actually going to pick up the LC. So is this a position 2 Mars? This could be mid Mars. Someone to take the Wraith King, so that'd be the 1 roll. That's Femi on the Mars. See, the thing is, I don't know a super amount about all these players. I don't really know a couple of them. So, straight off the top of my head, I ain't got a clue which one is the actual guaranteed mid lane here for AAA. I know Mars was in the meta for being a mid laner for, you know, a fair amount of time. So maybe they're just going to go for that old meta. Maybe, possibly, the LC could be the mid. Because you boys might know a little bit more than I do. Maybe still. Let's see how this matchup ends up going. Should be an interesting game for sure, because there's not really an overwhelming amount of like teamfight abilities from either side. Like Carrydas have got the Winter's Curse and the Terrorize, and then that's really it for teamfight mechanics. And then AAA have really only got the Mars Arena itself. Everything else is sort of like little skirmish ultimates, very single target orientated. It's not really going to be like a big spread of damage going across the board. I mean, maybe that's what Carrydas is a little bit after, because it's all, you never really want to draft a lineup which has, you know, is exclusively relying on those big cooldowns. Because if you blow him all to kill the Wraith King, he'll just come back with his second life, and then the fight is hugely going to be in their favor, because without those big ultimates to try and swing it back in your own way, he'll just end up walking over you. But obviously, with this, the Arc Warden is always a greedy hero pickup. He needs quite a bit of time before he actually becomes effective. He needs a big chunk of items. So this Razor and the CK are going to have to perform pretty damn well in their lanes and try and make the space for the Arc to actually come online to become the real dominant force of this game. Because even though he's the mid laner, really, the Arc is going to be the actual carry of this game. But he has to do it. He has to have a good time. But we'll see. Obviously, I'll actually find out who's going to be the mid laner playing up against him in just a second. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for game number 1 between Ancient Apparition Anonymous versus Carrydas. Something. For the grand finals of Division 3 of the Clarity League. Both teams have been working on this for several weeks now, practicing hard, and managing to best a lot of damn teams to finally make their way to this big grand arena. So we'll see which one of them is going to finally prove who is the best team and end up taking the title of Division 3 champions. But it doesn't look like either squad's going to try and start off with any crazy first blood play. It's pretty much all split across the map. Just quack charge in. So here's position 3, Chaos Knight.
You were no match.
And then the position 1 Razor.
I can sign you to dust.
And Ryoka is up towards the top. So it is actually position 3 LC with the position 4 Clockwork on the support. Position 5 on the Shadow Demon with the mid Mars. And then the position 1 Wraith King. Oh, the Wraith King was like the only hero which I was like actually knew was going in this position. All the rest was sort of like a 50-50 chance. They could go either way. But it will just be AAA securing up the top 2 bounty runes and Carrydas securing the bottom 2. So an even 400 gold apiece for each side. And then the true game goes on. See who actually ends up winning this little blocking war in the mid. Asumi just passing this with tier 1. I think Mash is just slightly ahead of this block. And he will have the higher ground, which is always that nice, especially if you're a ranged hero as well. Just makes the initial wave just that tiny bit easier. But I don't think either one really dominates this lane that hard. I mean, the Mars definitely hits like a truck with the help of Quelling Blade, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for Mash to secure those early last hits. So he definitely will struggle for a little bit. But as soon as the Arc Warden hits that sort of level 3 area where he has the 2 points into the Spark Wraith, those damn things will hurt like hell. But already a little pause from Matsfema, who apparently is having keybind problems. Loaded the wrong config. Whoopsie daisy. Looks like Matrix Wolf was maybe trying to snipe the courier.
Busted.
The catch-up was chasing him this entire time, but unfortunately for him, the battery cell has run out. On cooldown for another 5 seconds, so Matrix Wolf will manage to escape away from this. Where's he actually TP to? Oh, yeah, he TP's up to the top. Immediately has to pop this out though. There's already good a little bit of harassment there from the clockwork. Just forcing that early regen. That's all you have to do. At the end of the day, you never really have to get kills. As long as if you do some decent economic damage at the same time, force people to use up all of their regen in the lane, it sets it up to be a hell of a lot easier. But still, Ketchup just making sure he tracks down this Winter Wyvern everywhere he goes. Matrix Wolf just struggling so hard to try and do anything. Because he wants to maybe get a pull-off, but Ketchup just blocking the camp. Constantly running at the Winter Wyvern. No quarter given. We were already Carrydas at the top of the CS, 7 and 2 for him right now, so not too much that Ryoku's been able to do to bully him out. Maybe just a little bit of stack link. Doesn't have to be a huge amount of damage, but 19 is a fair chunk at this point in the game. So it ends up making the LC hit for only like, what's that, 46? Big math, mate, big math. And still pretty even in this mid lane as well. 9 and 2 to Mash to the 7 and 0 there of Batsfimi. There's a ping there for them. Maybe they wanted to try and make a move onto Ketchup, but difficult kill to get. Especially seeing how none of these two heroes actually have a disable on them. They both have a slow. At the end of the day, you really need some more significant lockdown to try and get those early kills. Quack's doing right down the bottom as well. Obviously, all the CS is pretty tied at the moment. It's only a couple of people on the side of Carrydas that are actually managed to pull ahead. Just a couple of spells also chucked down to Quack, just to harass him out a little bit. He's still got 6 tangos to use there. Not bother touching these whatsoever. And he's still not using them either. There we go. Finally, the man will eat a tree. And I wonder how many Hand of Midas we're going to see in this game. It is starting to become a lot more meta nowadays. Hand of Midas has dropped out in popularity quite a lot. Like a few months ago, you never really saw the item get picked up that much. But a lot of teams are starting to rock this item again. So I wonder how many we may actually end up seeing in this game. Yes, Ketchup tried to get the grab there onto the courier, but couldn't quite find it. And now maybe he might get taken down here himself. Matrix slowing him down. Carrydas does actually have enough mana there for the plasma field. If Matrix gave him a cheeky little mango there, that could have potentially been a first blood engagement. But even so, he doesn't really need to get any kills whatsoever. Like, Carrydas sat very, very comfortably at the top of the CS, 22 and 6 right now, to the 13 and 2 of Ryoka. So nearly doubling his CS, especially with those added denies, just helping secure that little rift in experience. Allow him just to stay the dominant force of that lane. Meanwhile on this mid, still relatively even. Batsfimi just with a slight lead now. Mash just putting down that Spark Wave just to force Batsfimi to go back. Wants to go over there to fill up his bottle, but it's just so damn difficult. These Spark Waves hurt. Goddamn, so much damage. 240. So that's like a quarter of his HP just for one Spark Wave. And it's a super short cooldown as well. 4 seconds. You just chuck these out, limit the movements, even has a built-in slow. So, I mean, Batsfimi could just commit himself or go for that water room, but he's going to get punished for it if he decides to actually do that. And we'll see what his actual decision is going to be. But Quack was lagging. He's saying go. They're going to give it a try. Hopefully he's fixed the lag. Lag, always a gamer's worst friend. Batsfimi's going to try and go for the wraparound over the top here. Mash is going to try and get in there. Well, maybe he wants to go for the deny, but a nice spear from Batsfimi allows him to actually grab that water rune. Mash should be able to actually get the bottom one at least. Oh, we got down bottom. Quack actually ends up getting the first one there onto Throne Plunder. Just a nice control of the Chaos Bolt into the Bramble Maze. And easily able to bring down the Wraith King, especially these early parts of the game. The Wraith King is a pretty damn squishy hero. So not much they can do to survive that. Carrydas, he's got his stack link up now. Wants to try to go for play, but there is the bonus of having a support Clockwork. You just pop those cogs, pushes him back, and immediately cancels out the stack link. So you only got 16 damage out of that. And obviously the early levels, pretty long cooldown as well. So any little move like that, always going to feel like a small victory. Oh, from Thunder, Moody going here, connects from the Bramble Maze again. Thunder's actually going to turn around here with the Wraithfire Bust, but he can't do that. His right clicks hurt so much. The disruption from Adoro gives him space, but the Dark Realm hit from Danny gets the finishing touch, and the Wraith King ends up dropping down. So 2 deaths from Thunder already in this game. The off lane here for Carrydas just going really swimmingly, and even on the actual CS chart, all 3 cores on Carrydas' side are at the top of the CS chart. Not exactly like it's a humongous lead, but a lead nevertheless. Well, actually, when you compare position 1, Stormplunder's 21 to the 34 and 10 of Carrydas, just a humongous difference between those two. In terms of net worth as well, it's like 700 gold. And at 6 minutes into the game, 700 gold is a big chunk of money. That's like a full Wraith Band, most parts of the boots. You can't scoff at 700 gold. Oh, and then Matrix Wolf getting a really early D-ward as well. Always feels great when you get a kill on the ward which has just been planted. It's like a proper slap in the face of the other support. Batsumi does have his level 6 now. We'll see if he's going to decide to make a move across the map and use this ultimate and help out his side lanes, because they definitely need it, especially bot lane. But actually, Stormblood he's already abandoned the wave. He's had to go into jungle at only level 4, which always feels goddamn rough. And then meanwhile, I was talking about that, Carrydas ends up taking the kill onto Yes Ketchup at the top lane. So more kills for Carrydas. Oh, and there's another one. Adoro. The poor support left on his own to try and soak the XP, but just ends up getting caught out. Another kill for Quack. 2-0-1 now. And just everything going Carrydas' favour right now. 2k gold lead, 7 minutes in. And this is a lineup as well that has a mid-arc warden. So this is going like by the books here for Carrydas. Both the other 2 cores winning both of their lanes. They're going to make so much goddamn space for the arc warden that there's not really much that AAA going to be able to do to hinder his movements for a very, very long time. I mean, really, the way that they're progressing, they might not even need this arc warden in the end. They might just be able to like close out this game without even needing him, really. We'll have to wait and see. But only a couple of 100 gold now for Mash to finish up his hand in Midas, and then we'll really start to see the net worth of this arc warden fly up. But the first move here for Batsumi gets the arena grab there onto Quack at the bot lane. And they will manage to take down the CK, but even still, it wasn't actually enough to save their tier 1 tower. It still ends up going down. So it's a victory, sure, but it's not exactly like it's the cleanest victory in the world. Still ends up costing them. And meanwhile, at the top, Carrydas taking down Yes Ketchup yet again. Another kill on the board for the Razor. Stepping out. He does have the duel available, but he can't really do that against the Razor just yet. Without the RC prep from Matrix as well, we'll just go for the rally to try and get himself out of there. The Carrydas actually chasing him in with the Eye of the Storm. Ryoka thinking about turning around there with the duel. Not going to carry on going for it. Best catch up. Now he's respawned. He's just charged at the Razor. He wants to find something, but he's right clicks out so damn much. The Corner Brace will keep him alive, but yes, catch up. He stepped out too far. The right clicks on Matrix will end up taking him down. We sure he gave the space for the LC, but instead he still wants to give his life away. But Batsumi, he made the rotation. Carrydas trying to go to the secret shop. Made us get caught out. Actually, there's no tree there. Batsumi just pushes him away with the spear. Can't do anything to him whatsoever.
There is little hope for Radiant's middle tower.
Carrydas, he just really wants the Void Stone. Wants that mana regen.
Mine is truly a blessed life.
Is that Matrix? Come with me. Secure this item. I need help. But Quack, his mission succeeded in the bot lane, took down that tier 1 tower, now he's rotating into the mid. Batsumi just charged forward onto the creep just to push him off the tower, do some damage. Now Dora, he's actually got the grab here onto the Arc Warden. They're going to drop the arena. The spear is miles off, doesn't connect whatsoever. The rotation from the lane commander gets the duel before the TP can complete. And that's the first victory on the board, and especially onto the Arc Warden, a very important target to take down. And they're going to try and transition this into their own tier 1 tower take, if they possibly can. The Quack is still standing by. Pulls Batsumi off. Actually gets the Bramble connection as well. 4 heroes here for AAA. But only 2 heroes required from Carrydas to actually force them away from the tower. So definitely just getting a little bit more off the map in that regard. Carrydas closing in towards his Yule Scepter. About 900 gold away before the item's completed. Meanwhile for Throne Plunder, he's actually got the Radiance queued up here. I don't know if that's the right item to go for in my opinion, because your team's already behind by a little bit. And I thought maybe you might want to get an item to bring your team back into it as fast as you can. A little move there from Carrydas to try to get the grab here onto the Mars, but doesn't quite get the connection. There's still the Karen charging in there with the Rally Rift pulling him backwards with the help of the Arc Warden. It's actually enough damage to take him down, diving past the tier 1 tower. And now a potential turnaround here for AAA. They're going to try and make a move onto the Chaos Eye. Even a buyback forced out from the Mars. His Arena still on cooldown for another 5 seconds. We'll be up soon. The battery sold from Ketchup. Gate closing the gap. Danny also getting picked off at the back lines. And Quack, the Quilt Crown holding them off, but even still, they will get the kill onto the CK. Another dual victory for the LC. And now Matrix Wolf, he's going to try and hide himself up to the high ground. Can't quite fly over the wall there, but still just hiding around this little pillar. Actually, can just fly straight over the wall. I think he did. I didn't realise that. He will just go for the Winters. Guys, he does actually have a TP. But still a level 6 there for Yes Ketchup. It doesn't matter. Throne Plunder's there for the cutoff. 4 heroes just completely surrounding the Winter Wyvern. So another 3 kills there for AAA. But despite that, it didn't actually move the gold net worth change whatsoever. Still 2k in the favour of Carrydas. And it's pretty much all because like Carrydas has just been free farming this top lane. No one's contested him in such a long time. 1100 gold over, well, it's 1000 gold over the top of Throne Plunder. It's still Quack and Mash shortly behind him. It's a pretty standard build there from the Arc Warden as well. Hand of Midas into the Maelstrom first item. And he's only 1300 gold away from actually finishing that main item as well. And then that's when he can actually start doing some damage. Still not really effective enough to try and take any fights with the rest of his team, because he's still pretty weak. But it definitely increases his farming speed, the ability to split push around the map. And just like a little added deterrent as well. I'm going to guess that as soon as you finish up the Maelstrom move, goes straight in for the bots as well. Well, a little move there from Carrydas, trying to get the grab here onto the Clockwork with a rotation from Ryoka with the Purge. Gets him out there, but they're still hanging around. Want to try to go for a counterplay. The Mars is invis. He's going to get the connection to Swartz with the spear. It ends up missing again. The terrorist there from Danny's going to force him away. Meanwhile, Quack's just focusing onto the LC. Bullies him off as well. But still, AAA maybe want to try and make some sort of counterplay here. The Bramble Mace do connect there onto the LC, so it's giving him a little bit more space to try and back out. Batsumi still keep a chase though. Wants to try and find the connection to one of these supports. The Witness Curse used yet again from Matrix, just pure defensively, but the Hook is still going to get the connection there from the Ketchup. And they take down the Winter Wyvern. Danny and Quack just need to get the hell out of there as fast as they possibly can. It looks like Quack will manage to juke himself out. The Dark Realm there from Danny. He's trying to delay this as much as he can. Ryoka, he's getting close in for the duel, and he is just going to pop it. Not going to be anything to keep her safe this time. It ends up being a double kill there for Batsumi. With the 3rd dual victory online for Ryoka already. Plus 30 damage. It's pretty damn nice. But still, just no one's pushing these 3 cores off of the net worth lead. They're still just holding on to it. And now Carrydas trying to make a move here onto Batsumi as he TP'd up to defend the tier 1 tower. But it looks like It's could end up feeding its life away. Ketchup's TP'd in to try and help out. Is he going to complete it? No, he decided to cancel it. I thought that'd be a crazy TP to complete. Even going to force down the tier 1 tower as well. So a quick kill, quick tower take. And then split up and start absorbing some more farm across the map. Still, Throne Plunder's got this Radiance queued up. I really think he should... I don't know. It feels like a little bit too greedy. I mean, sure, it's good against the CK with all of his illusions. That added mischance of the Radiance burn, it will work out quite nicely. But just where your early game was hindered a fair amount, I don't know if it was... It is a very greedy item. It is a very, very greedy item. But we'll have to see how it ends up panning out. I could be completely wrong and it ends up still just being very profitable. We'll have to wait and see. Ooh, Ryoka. Ends up walking straight into the Dark Willow. Maybe we can think about turning this around. But now Quack's getting involved. Pulls back in with the Alley Rift with a couple of stuns for the LC. Oh, the Disruption there from Adora. I didn't even see it. The graphic didn't show up. He then gets to join. And now Thrombology's going to try and get involved. Witness Curse making a little bit of space for Danny, but it's not going to be enough. The Demonic Purge pops and takes him down. Mash is also here as well. Needs to be careful. With the haste rune, he will just allow himself to disengage quite easily. But it looks like they will just secure the kill onto the Tempest double. The hook. Oh, it actually ends to get the connection to Quack with the dual Ryoka. They will find the kill onto Quack, but just not fast enough to get the 4th dual victory online. Would have been some much extra lovely dual damage. But even still, a kill is still a kill, despite the fact that you do get that dual victory. And Carrydas, yet again, just on the complete opposite side to where all the action's happening. He was up top this entire time, takes the tier 1 tower while everyone else is bottom, and then as soon as everyone else goes top, he just goes down to the bot lane. He's like, yeah, okay, sure. I don't know if that's the correct choice or not, because obviously the Razor's not like one of your late game carries. He definitely specialised in like the early to mid game where he's quite potent. So the static link does a lot of work. But I mean, he's got his Yules, he's got his Yasha. We'll see what he's going to queue up next, whether he's going to go straight up for the S and Y. Or maybe might mix it up and go for something else. We'll have to wait and see. But even still, 5 people from AAA up at this top lane want to try to take the tower. The spear from Batsimi misses again on an unaware target. And now with the Dark Realm there from Danny, easy to be able to get out. No, he won't, because he's going to run straight into the waiting arms of Thrombology with one quick crit into his face. Takes down the Dark Willow whilst Ryoka was just doing objective Dota. Took down the tier 1. Batsimi is not on these spears today. It's just warm up. It's game number 1. These things do happen. The key part of it is not let it get to your head, but it's immediately they're going to try and make a move here onto Quack. Gets the spear, with the connection, with the dual victory, dual connection there from Ryoka. The Cold Embrace definitely going to lay this out with the Witness Curse as well. It's going to allow Quack to try and disengage. Actually going to pop his ultimate and try and turn here onto the Shadow Demon. But level 1 ultimate, those illusions are weak as hell and it immediately dies. And Quack will just get taken down as well. Carrydas also getting involved for the first time here, but the spear will just push away. And he is going to decide to disengage, despite the fact that he is pretty damn over leveled. He actually is coming back in a little bit, just poking and prodding though. Can't quite commit with the lack of their front line. Actually, he still is sort of committed. He's still just charging in. The spear there from Batsimi holds him back onto the tree and allows the Wraith King to disengage himself. So maybe just use that level advantage just to be just scary. Just force people to run away from him. Because, I mean, he is like nearly 2,000 gold over the top of Thrum Plunder as well. This man is definitely farm. A force to be reckoned with for sure. And still 1,700 gold sat in his back pocket. He pretty much has got enough to buy out the S and Y if he wants to. If that is the item he has in mind. But I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he's not sure himself. The cheeky smoke move here from AAA up towards the top. They want to try and catch someone farming out. And it is actually going to be Mash. He's just finished up their camp though. So fortunately enough for him, he is actually going back at just the right time. But he's still hanging around to farm up. He's getting caught here for Batsimi. Easiest spear into the tree there himself. And with the duel as well there from Ryoka, holds it in place. The 4th duel victory now online. The terrorist actually comes in. Matrix completing his TP. It looks like Carrydas want to try and turn the situation around and get a kill in return at least. They can do a lot of damage to catch up. The Island Storm is enough to finish him off. Witness Curse holding a couple of people off to the side. Meanwhile, the rest of the team wants to go for a higher value target. And the Quack Carrydas immediately on top of this Wraith King right now. His first life will go. And Batsimi doesn't really have much left in the tank to try and do much of this game. The spear will connect onto the Razor to hold him back. But even still, the reality we're pulling him back in. Thrombology will send up going down. Mirror up top. Matrix has actually just been chasing after Adora this entire time. But both of these two hit like kittens. The Shadow Poison sacks are all going to come in there from Adora pretty damn soon. Only got 2 right now. I'm quite surprised he only has 2 sacks. And Carrydas will just manage to take him down. So just waste his time. Allow the Razor to get another kill.
Radiant's bottom tower is in danger.
So a little victory there for Carrydas. 3-for-1 trade. They do lose the Arc Warder, which definitely hurts, as well as a dual victory for Ryoka. But even still, it was a good way to turn that situation around a little bit more into their favor. It seemed like ballsy TPs to complete into their own jungle, but they did go for it. And they ended up paying out. Nice rocket there from Ketchup, just scouting out the side of Carrydas, stealing away their jungle, so they're not going to potentially walk into any dire situations. And it was the SNY that Carrydas ended up completing, so pretty standard. With another 2k set in the bank, he might just go straight off like a BKB perhaps. Oh, Basumi, he's found the jump here onto Matrix Wolf. Going to set up for another dual victory there for Ryoka. This man is hurting a hell of a lot. So they want to try and find something else here to catch up. He with his cogs, but he gets immediately pulled out. He has to go for the defensive foot, but the Terrorizer is going to be there from Danny. Forcing it back into the way, but there's nothing to actually hold him there. So it looks like they might be able to disengage with Pasfield. Just get collected on the clockwork, as well as the Dora get taken out self. But Pasfield will just drop the arena. Going to focus on Carrydas. No place left for him to run, and he will get taken down. And Quack has to run for his life. Actually going to turn the situation around with his ultimate. They're going to chase the illusion. He made out perfectly. Quack with the big brain plays. Escapes out of his life. Ryoka did realise in the end, but doesn't have his duel to try and hold him in place. And he manages to escape with his life. So well played there from Quack. Next level stuff. I believe it's still the tips to come out onto Carrydas. Just getting involved quite deep. And actually Ryoka could go for a duel here onto the Dark Willow. And what, was that lag? Was that me lagging or was that the server lagging? Okay, yeah, everyone's saying it was lag because that looked like fishy as hell. But okay, it wasn't me. I'm glad it wasn't me. But I mean, that was a dual attempt without the press the attack, so it's always going to be a difficult one to get. I suppose he just wanted to jump onto it as fast as he could. What were the lanes? It was the Liege Commander Clockwork up against the Razor Winter Wyvern top. Mid was the Mars versus Arc Warden. And the bot lane was the Wraith King Shadow Demon versus the Chaos Knight Dark Willow. But still, the net worth lead for Carrydas just keeps on going up. 5k gold now. And from Blunder, he's trying to recover himself, but he's still 3k gold behind the Razor. And Mash is like 4k over the top of the Mars, the counterpart mid laner. Well, actually, potential fight in the arena. Catches out onto a couple of the Terrorizers going to force them to disengage. But nice Witness Curse connects onto 3. Quack, though, is sort of stuck in awkward position. Blasphemy doesn't take much damage, though, so he will manage to survive, especially with the pressed attack. Giving him some heals. He's going to try and disengage. Carrydas has charged himself in there. Ketchup will be the first casualty of this. The spear is pushing him back. Quack getting pretty low. Cold Base keeping alive for now. Ryoka tried to get the jewel there onto Carrydas, but he couldn't find it. The Shadow Poison. It put Carrydas super low, and even the Rebuke, it didn't finish him off. He's still able to survive. Meanwhile, From Ponder was deep in enemy lines, trying to solo 3 of them. He will die his first life, takes Quack with him, but it's not going to be enough to keep him alive for that second one. And now everybody else on the side of AAA is in disarray. Adora just needs to get the hell out of there, but he's slowed. Mash does not want to let him escape his life, and he will end up dying. Double kill for Mash. Just the Mars to end up escape with his life. So a 3 for 4 trade there in the favor of Carrydas. I mean, it doesn't show the... was it 3 for... 4 for 2? Was there over there? No, there wasn't. It was just 4 for 2. My eyes playing tricks on me. But immediately, Carrydas going into the Roche pit now to try and take this first Roche off the board. It will get scouted out by the Rocket. But I don't think there's much AAA going to be able to do to stop this from happening. They are going to TP in there. The Wraith King and the Shadow Demon up in 4 seconds, but this Roche is already on half HP. Danny's just going to try and hold back the Clockwork now. Does want to allow him to get any sort of like hookshot potential steals onto the Aegis. Matrix Wolf just positioned himself to block it if that does come out. But even if still, it's not going to be fast enough as the Roche still ends up dropping down. Carrydas to even take the Aegis himself. Immediately just like flies straight up to that high ground. No fear at all. Despite the fact that there's quite a lot of vision here for AAA in the area. So they do just see Carrydas Karen farming up with this just 5 heroes position, but they're going to walk under vision themselves. Both teams just got eyes and ears up in this triangle area. Adora's going to try and reclaim it a little bit. Even still, Mash has been doing his own thing, farming away. bots, Maelstrom, Dragonlance, Midas. 3.6k as well towards his Skadi. So he's going to have that up pretty damn soon. Only a couple of thousand gold away. And then that's when the Arc Warden starts feeling really goddamn scary once he has that next item online. Because then he'll be tanky. Got the slow with the built-in health regen reductions. It's going to be difficult.
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
Ryoko, at least he has like plus 60 dual damage. So this LC hits pretty damn hard. 240 a hit. So I think whoever he finds with the press the attack and the duel on top of him, they probably will end up getting dropped pretty quickly unless there's some big supports for the rest of the squad. I mean, Carrydas still actually have that. With the help there of the Winter Wyvern, you could always cold embrace someone or just drop the Winter's Curse. Both of those two skills are super effective at derailing the initiation from an LC. And with their little smoke play, they actually could bump into a few members of AAA here. Thrombunder's going to farm up the creep wave. Carrydas just killing that Observer Ward when the smoke just finished in there. And that just gives AAA the heads up to do a complete U-turn and go the other way. Like, okay, our jungle is not safe. Do not farm there. Already, Carrydas very aggressively positioned in the Radiant jungle. Just going to secure the creep wave to push onto this tier 2 tower. Nobody's actually hitting it, despite the fact there's a Carty right now. I feel like there should be people hitting this tower. That's even dropping the Eye of the Storm. With the Aghanim Scepter, that was the next pickup. So he's got that capability to really take it down buildings quite easily now. He's going to carry on charging forward straight to Dora. He goes for the defensive disruption, but as I was saying in the draft, it doesn't do anything against the static link. Carrydas still getting pretty much a full duration. The Dora's still hanging around. He will manage to get away, but still 161 stolen damage there for the Razor. The spear back, making sure Quack doesn't do too much damage here. Once he has catch up, so is the Witness Curse holding the clock back for now, but even still, not enough damage. And even going for the defensive hook shot to get himself out of danger. And Carrydas just going to beat into this tier 2 tower with the help of that stolen damage. There's not enough to actually take it down just yet. The rest of the squad looks like they're just going to fall back. Oh, what jump forwards there? Yoka, he's found the Winter Wyvern, but the stun's holding it back. He's not about to get this duel finished. The Spirit's not getting the full connection. The Cold Embrace is allowed to come off. The Arena also getting dropped, but it's not really getting the connection onto anyone. Only Danny is stuck in there. Ryoko's trying to charge forwards to find the Winter Wyvern. In from Plunder. He will get the stun to the Winter Wyvern as well, but it's still, they're just not allowing him to get that kill. Ryoko's now completely separated from the rest of his team. He will end up dying. Matrix gets super low, manages to get one more Cold Embrace to try and keep himself alive, while Quack and Mash just beating into the Plunder, who's miles away. He's all alone here. He needs some help from the rest of his team, and he needs it now, or he's just going to die again. But everybody's held miles back. It's just Carrydas who's doing a similar sort of move. He manages to get the kill onto Adora, but he had the Aegis at least, so it doesn't even matter if he ends up dying. So it ends up being a 3-for-0 trade, just the Aegis. And not a single buyback on anyone there for AAA, so we'll see what sort of damage Carrydas are going to be able to do with this advantage. At least going to be able to take down this tier 2 at the top lane. They wanted that kill onto Matrix so damn much. It was so close. But unfortunately for them, the initiation there for Ryoko, it was good. They got the grab, but nobody else on the side of AAA was actually close enough to capitalize on the engagement. There was nobody to do actual damage, which is the reason why they were kept alive. Carrydas also actually doing a little bit of damage onto the tier 3 as well, just with the last few dying seconds of the Eye of the Storm. Not a huge amount of damage, but hey, every little helps. Dota is a game of inches and centimeters, and that's a couple of millimeters at best. Baby Seal, now we've finally seen this Arc Warden at the top of the net worth, and that's probably where he'll stay for the entirety of the game. Even if AAA start bringing themselves back into this, it's just super hard to derail an Arc Warden from being top net worth. Just a Tempest double split push with the 2 uses of Hand of Midas. Just such a good, just a farming machine. Even with the Chrysalis going straight up for the Daedalus as his next item. So he's really just the only one using benefit of the farm on their own side of the map. Meanwhile, the rest of the squad is just making sure they are constantly aggressively positioned on the Radiant side. Just to make sure that AAA don't have any sort of space to try and get any recovery farm. All they're getting is the remnants of the creep wave that are taking their way. Oh, this ward, it actually gets a spawn to Throm Plunder. The Bramble also getting the connection here, so he's held back for now. His ultimate is back up, but immediately re-engage there for Batuma. Gets the arena with the immediate stun onto Danny, but the cold embrace is there. It's going to keep him alive for now. The jump backwards, the curse onto Adora in the backline as well, holding back quite a few of them. But even still, the jewel does come out from Adora. It's going to try and get the kill onto the Sea Gate, enough to get the jewel. But even still, Quack is super damn low. The spear will finish him off. First cycle from Thunder. He's coming back into this. Another Bramble connection. The right clicks from Mash and Carrydas. They take him down though. So it's a trade of position 1 for a 3. Yes, catch up, trying to make himself up to the high ground as well. The Spark Wave not going to get a connection as Ryoka tanks it up for him. But even still, huge amounts of damage from this Arc Warden from afar. Mash actually still able to find the kill somehow. Don't know how that happened. And even Adora just getting ran down. Double kill for Mash. Has to buy back on the Clockwork as well. And they're going to start beating into this tier 3 tower now. Is there going to be enough here from AAA to push them away from this barracks? They're just going to have to give away the set. I mean, if they buy back on the Wraith King and the Shadow Demon, they probably will be able to keep it alive. That's a very expensive trade. And they're not even going to bother. Especially with this Agnum Scepter from the Razor. The double hits are just so goddamn effective at tearing those buildings apart. And Carrydas will just back out. They got what they wanted. They got a few kills. Took down the whole set of barracks. Then they'll just fall back and absorb the rest of the farm. Maybe they might wait for the next Roshan as well. Potentially up in 30 seconds. And we'll see if Gaben's on their side, if they've tipped him enough to give him a fast respawn or not. But even still, 20,000 gold lead now in the favour of Carrydas. Throm Plunder, he's caught completely outside his map farming. The trap was set from Carrydas and Throm Plunder just walked straight into it. This time with no buyback. Ultimate was off cooldown. And then it's going to go straight up to the high ground again with another use of the Eye of the Storm. Matrix did drop the question mark, a little bit of BM. But the tier 3 falls. And both these buildings are going to get melted down super damn quickly with the Eye of the Storm. Even the jump falls there from Quack. They get the collection onto Adoro. Doesn't stand a chance against that overwhelming damage. Does buyback. And even the Clockwork having to just hookshot himself out there to keep himself safe. Even still, 2 sets of barracks now gone. Matrix say no. I think he has a bit of backpedaling. Didn't mean to be toxic. I don't know, man. Question marks. Always toxicity. Ever since the Animajor. Was it the Animajor? Or was it Emo that dropped the question mark? I can't remember now. But even so, it looks like AAA going to try and go for a desperate move here with this smoke. But Carrydas are probably aware that something's happened here. His builders hit into the building. And Batsfemi will show himself. But even so, Carrydas, they just want to close this game out now. Not even going to bother waiting for the next Roshan. Throm Plunder's ultimate is back up. But no fear, just walks straight up to the hook shot. It ends up missing, but Ryoko's into the backlines. He's got the jewel there onto him in the moment. They will take him down with the help of Batsfemi. And now that's that key amount of teamfight there from Carrydas taken away. Ketchup will get quiet himself though. Quack just beating into Ryoko. He's popped his speak. Even this goddamn right click damage with the crits as well for a match. They take him down. Even to get the stun onto the Mars. They're both gone. Throm Plunders with a sliver of HP, still has his ultimate intact, but even still, that's not going to be enough to turn this fight around. Oh my god, those snowballs! Ridiculous amount of damage. And I think that is just GG, and they will surely call it. So AAA getting taken out there, game number 1 in this best of 3 for the grand finals of the Clarity League Division 3. A fantastic start there for Carrydas. There's absolutely everything was going in their favour that game. I mean, what top and bottom lane just got really just won hugely in their favour. The mid lane was sort of a stalemate, but I mean, Carrydas were fine with that. It's an Arc Warden. All he wants to do is farm. He doesn't have to win his lane. As long as if he's not getting hindered and ganked all the time, he doesn't really care. And that was enough that just allowed them to swing themselves back into this game. AAA just could not find a foothold in it whatsoever. But even still, well played there to Carrydas, Remalded. Taking game number 1 in this best of 3 series. 1 game away now to just taking the whole title. Unless this is the best of 5. I don't know. It could be best of 5. I may have to figure that out. But even still, well played to them. And game 3 will be coming up pretty soon.